Good morning, everyone. My name is Tracy Frith. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and I'm coming to you live today to do to show you a technique called Emboss Resist. So we're going to create a card today with that kind of a background, and again, pretty simple technique. I like simple. I don't know if you've been watching me for a while, you've probably noticed that. And I also like to fidget, so hence playing with my ink pads. So I'm going to use today 3 of the new in colors again. So I'm going to use Orchid Oasis, Tahitian Tide, and Parakeet Party. And again, I love these colors. I love them together. I love how bright and happy they are. Yeah, I'm just really excited about them. So I was going to use different colors today, and I was like, nope, like those ones, going to use them again. So I'm just going to put those aside, and I'll bring in the card sample. So we're going to make this card. I'm going to do it with a different color background for the demonstration, but using the, what stamp set was that? This is an older stamp set, still current, Dragonfly Garden. It's this one. So I just like the little, I love the little dragonfly, so I thought I would pull that out and use it again. So this background is pretty simple to make. I have to find, there it is. I'm going to put that aside for now. So my supplies for this card are the base, which is the standard base size, so 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then I've got another piece of white, basic white, that is 5 by 3 3/4. And then a piece of the new In Color Designer Series paper, and I'm using, for this one, I'm using Orchid Oasis, and this one is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so the standard quarter inch bigger than the mat that I'm going to use. All right. Oh, and I was going to pull out some scrap paper and I forgot. Let's see what I have here that I can steal to use. There's that one. Oh, sorry, I had a phone call coming in. All right, I'll deal with the phone call later. And now I've lost my ink. There it is. Okay, let's get organized here. All right, so I'm going to use the Embossing Buddy. We don't carry these anymore, but you can get them at various different craft stores, or I think I mentioned once before, I used a couple of old dryer sheets and filled them with cornstarch and just tied them up. That works as well. So I'm just going to cover my whole cardstock piece with that. And then I like to just give it a little bit of a brush off as well. And the Embossing Buddy just helps to keep like the oils from your hands and whatnot from interfering with your stamped images. All right, and then I'm using Versamark today. And I'm using both of the bigger dragonflies from the set. So you can see there's 2 big dragonflies, and then I'm going to also use this little cluster. And I just picked one, kind of went random with this. And I just randomly placed them on the page. And this part is a little bit tricky. I don't know if you can see, it's hard to see the stamped image because it's clear. So you just have to kind of find the right lighting, and I don't know if I can make it show up on camera. But I just tried to make sure I didn't overlap my images. That was my main goal with this today. Okay, so I did a couple of each of the big ones, and then I went in with a little cluster, and I did one little cluster in the bottom. And another little cluster at the top. Oh, I didn't leave as much room for this one this time, but that's okay. Hopefully I've got it on there. Okay. So other than my greeting, that's it for the stamping. So now I'm going to take my piece and bring in my coffee filter and some white embossing powder. Oops. And a piece of hair. Let's get rid of that. All right, and then I'm just going to dump my embossing powder. I kind of just shake it across, and I'm going to just cover the whole piece. If you don't have a lot of powder, you can do it in bits, like shake some on and then gather it up again and reshake it on. I have a new container, so I'm not so worried about that this time. And then I always have an old paintbrush, or a little paintbrush at least, handy when I do embossing. And I'm just going to take and shake the powder off. So hopefully, since I used the embossing buddy, I'm not going to have a lot of excess powder here. All right, so I can see that there's a little bit here and there. So that's where I use the paintbrush to tap on the back to get excess powder off. Then I also come in, and if there's any areas in the front where it's stuck that I don't want it to stick, I just really carefully brush that off. And because you're using the Versamark ink, it's clear. It shouldn't show too much in our next process if you get rid of the embossing powder. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Hopefully you can see what's on there. All right, and then I'm just going to take my excess powder and shake it back into the bottle here. And I can put that aside. All right, I'm going to go off camera for just a minute here and do my embossing. So I'm doing heat embossing, so I'm using the heat gun, and it will basically melt the embossing powder, and you'll end up with a raised image. So I'm going to go do that. Sorry, it will be a little bit noisy. All right. Oh, hi, Kathy. Oh, Kathy, you're in Nova Scotia. Nice. I have never been to that end of the country. I've always wanted to go. Hopefully one day I'll get out there to see it. I have an aunt that lives out there in PEI. And it looks like it's just a beautiful place. All right, so I've got my butterflies embossed now. So again, now you can see they've kind of turned a bit shiny. And they're raised up a little bit. So now I'm going to bring in my ink. I'm going to start with the Parakeet. and a blending brush. This is one of my new favorite tools. We've had them for a couple years now, I guess, but they're still fairly new. I just brush the ink on, and I like to kind of tap it off. And then I'm just going to come in and start brushing it over my butterfly or my dragonflies. And you can put it as light or as dark as you want. Try and get just a little bit more green in there. So if you want it darker, just keep layering. Then I'm going to bring in the Tahitian Tide. I'm still not sure I have a favorite of the new ink colors. I like all of them. Someone asked that question the other day and I couldn't really give an answer. I do know my least favorite. My least favorite is the Sweet Sorbet. And not that it's a bad color, I like it. It's just I tend to be drawn more towards the blues and the greens. I'm going to do one more layer of this one. I want that center layer to be nice and bright there. Okay. And then there's lots of people that have several blending brushes and they use like one kind of for each color group. So one for greens, one for reds, whatever. I tend to just use the same one and just make sure I brush it off in between. It's been working for me so far. I think they come in a package of 2 or 3 when you buy them. I know, right, Kathy? They're just all so really, really nice colors this time around. Some years I'm not as impressed with them. Just not my taste, I guess, for color choices, but these ones I really like. Actually, the last couple years, I've liked them all. And you can see, you have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes if you tap your brush, if you don't tap it enough on your scrap paper and you go right to your working surface, you get a little bit of a darker splotch. I'm not too concerned about that this time. I think it gives it a little bit of dimension for what I'm doing. I'll go one more time here. And you can see I'm not worried about mixing the colors where they overlap. They look fine together. I'll give my brush a little bit of a clean again. All right, so that's it with my ink for now. I'll pull one of them out again in a minute here. All right, and then I always keep, I don't know if it's an old washcloth or an old towel that we've stitched up, but I have some little rags that I use just for stamping. Like there's always one on my table. And you could probably use, I'm not sure, a paper towel might work. I'd just be a little bit worried about lint, or like a Swiffer dusting, not a dusting cloth, but just a dry Swiffer cloth might work as well. And then I just go over the stamped images and just rub the ink off the top. It won't stick to the embossing powder. And it just pops that white a little bit more. Got my watch talking to me now. All right. So that piece is done. All right, so you can see, I don't know, I'll try and move it around in the light here a little bit. You can see that the dragonflies pop out. The colors now in the background. So that piece is done. I forgot to pull out a scrap for the greeting. Let me find one of those. How big do I want it? Not super big. We'll go with that piece. All right, so I just have a scrap of white, and I am using, where did my greeting go? There it is. Sometimes with these clear blocks and the photopolymer stamps, I lose them on my table. They blend in with everything else. All right, so for my greeting today, this set does come with lots of different greetings, or a few different greetings anyways, so definitely can use one from that. I chose to use one from the Happiness Abounds. I just liked the scripty word friend. So this card can be used for lots of different things. It can be a friend birthday or a friend thank you or just a friend hello. Lots of different options with this one, so I want to keep it a little bit more generic. So I'm just inking up my stamp, and remember how. So I'm kind of putting it off to the left-hand side a little bit, hopefully getting it straight. There we go. That looks not too bad. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my scissors. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring in my trimmer. I did it freehand before, but I don't want to do that on this one. So let's put that ink out of the way. I'll bring this in. So I'm just going to trim off the edges a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to leave the right hand edge a little bit longer because I'm going to flag that one. Oh, maybe not quite long enough. It'll be a short flag. So to flag, I just cut up the middle. Can't remember where I learned this, but if you don't have, there used to be a banner punch that did this. I don't think it's current anymore, that particular one. We have lots of dies, I guess, that you could do a banner, but I didn't want to pull those out today. All right, so trim up there, cut up the middle, and then just trim up to your cut line from the corner. There we go. All right, I can move this out of the way now too. Okay, so there's my greeting, and I'm just going to take a little piece of the Tahitian tied ribbon, and I need to put another order in because I want to get some different colors of ribbon. Oh, hello, Kevin. All I bought this time was the Tahitian tied, so I want to get all the colors because I love this ribbon. It's so pretty. Okay, and I'm going to grab my glue dots. Oh goodness, got it backwards. There we go. I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm just going to kind of roll one up a little bit and glue my loop in my ribbon. So I'm crisscrossing it a little bit at the bottom, but I do want to put my glue not too low. I have a little loop, and then I'm going to get one more glue dot, and I'm going to glue the ribbon to the back of my greeting. This one I'm going to put just a little bit lower, and I've left it flat. And hopefully it will stick, mostly to the ribbon, not so much to my fingers. And I'm just going to leave a little loop showing out the top. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals. because I'm almost out. I also need to put mini dimensionals on my order. I think I have like 3 little dimensionals left. So I'm using up my big ones. I thought I had a whole bunch of packages of mini ones, but I guess I've been using them more often, so they're disappearing faster. All right, and then I'm just going to center this kind of a little bit, well, not really centering, I'm putting it a little bit over to the right-hand side and not quite in the center, up and down. Okay, so there's that piece. I probably should have glued it on first, but I didn't, so that's okay. All right, and then I'm going to take your pick tool again, and I'm just going to fray the ribbon at the bottom. So I'm just pulling it apart. You could probably do it just with your fingers too if you wanted to. This just makes it a little bit easier. All right, and then it's just assembly from there. So let's get my card together here. All right, so I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive here. While I'm doing this, I'll mention a little bit again, I think I mentioned it last week as well. We are, the team that I stamp with is doing an extravaganza on June 4th. So that'll be like a good day's worth of stamping. We're doing a make and take session in the morning. So I think that'll be around 2.5 hours or so. You'll get to make 6 different projects, all focusing on the in colors, the new in colors. And we're also using the Bottled Happiness set, I believe, for those. And then there's also some pre-recorded videos that will run later in the day. So you can watch those when they are launched, or you can watch them anytime. You'll get access with your registration. You'll get access to a Facebook group and a website that will have all of the projects and videos and instructions on it throughout the day. That's where the Facebook Lives will go as well. And there's also some bonus projects leading up to the event, so the week before. And then you'll also get an invitation for later on in the month in June for our team mystery stamping event. We do those, the team does them once a month. So we thought it would be fun to invite the participants of the extravaganza to that event as well. I'll explain a little bit more about the registration for that in a minute here. So I just wanted to finish up this card. So I've got it together, and I'm just gonna add some bling. And I pulled out the Iridescent Rhinestones again. I guess I haven't used a ton of them yet, but these are also starting to become a go-to for me. I really like them, and I think they go really well with the in colors. There's also some matte dots that are in the new in colors. There we go. I think I showed those last week too, so you can use those if you want as well. I like the look of the rhinestones. So there we go. That is the card of the day. All right, so I'll just finish explaining a little bit about the extravaganza, and then I will talk about my draw from last week. So extravaganza, I'm going to bring both my samples here. There you go. So again, we're using the Bottled Happiness set. All of the new in colors will be highlighted and used in all of the different projects. So you get 12 projects altogether, so 6, or on the day of, I guess there's 6 make and takes, and 6 pre-recorded videos. There's 6 lead-up videos every day leading up to the event, starting the Sunday before. The mystery stamping event, access to the web page and the Facebook page that will have all of the instructions and products and videos available for you to watch whenever you want. So if you can't join us for the whole time on the day of, on June the 4th, you can go back and watch anytime to do your projects. And to register with that, you can place a minimum order of $60 before shipping. And you're going to use the host code that I have here for that one. So you go to my webpage, tracyfrith.stampinup.net, and click on my shopping link, and you can use the host code there. I did also post a shopping link a couple weeks ago, I think, on the Artfully Stamp with Tracy on this Facebook group, so you can go back to that as well if you want. Or, that's one option for registering, so the $60 order, or you can pay $39.95. That gives you your make and take kits and access to the Facebook group and all of the videos and whatnot. You can join my team. That does not include your make and take kit, but you get free access to all of the stuff. And it's a great time right now to join if you are interested in that, because along with your regular starter kit, which is already a great deal, you also get a selection of new in-color product as a bonus for joining. So it's a really good deal right now to do that. And then if you do live outside of Canada, you can purchase the All Access Pass for $35, and that gets you, again, just access to the videos, the Facebook page, the lead-up videos and all of that, just not the make and take kits. All right, so if you're interested in joining us for that, it's a great event, lots of fun, and registration for that, if you want the make and take kit, is May 22nd, so that we have time to order the supplies to put those together. All right, so that's that. Now, I had a card. Yeah, there we go. The card from last week is this one, the Let's Get Into the Spirit, where I did all of the in colors using the Bottled Happiness set. So this is the set as well for the extravaganza, and it also has some flowers in it. And the winner of that from last week is my mom. I don't know, it doesn't look like she's watching today. But I will deliver that to her. And I have a few cards to get in the mail still. I've been with being sick last week and whatnot. I'm a little behind in that. So I know, Kathy, you won last week's card. So I will pop that in the mail for you as well. So that hopefully I will get those out this week. All right. So thank you again, everyone, for watching. I love it when people pop in, so I'm not talking to myself. And yeah, Kevin, right? I love those rhinestones. They're so nice. But yeah, so hopefully everyone has a great rest of your day and rest of your week. And let me know if you're interested in the extravaganza. I'd love to have some new faces join us. All right. Take care and have a great day.